Greetings YouTube. Today let's talk about the origin of life. Precambrian stromatolites in the Siyeh Formation, Glacier National Park. In 2002, William Schopf of UCLA published a paper in the scientific journal Nature arguing that geological formations such as this possess 3.5 billion years old, fossilized cyanobacteria microbes. If true, they would be the earliest known life on Earth. In the natural sciences, abiogenesis, or chemical evolution, is the study of how life on Earth could have arisen from inanimate matter. It should not be confused with evolution, which is the study of how groups of living things change over time. Amino acids, often called the building blocks of life, can form via natural chemical reactions unrelated to life, as demonstrated in the Miller-Urey experiment, which involved simulating the conditions of the early Earth. In all living things, these amino acids are organized into proteins, and the construction of these proteins is mediated by nucleic acids. Thus the question of how life on Earth originated is a question of how the first nucleic acids arose. The first living things on Earth are thought to be single-cell prokaryotes. The oldest ancient fossil microbe-like objects are dated to be 3.5 billion years old, just a few hundred million years younger than Earth itself. By 2.4 the ratio of stable isotopes of carbon, iron and sulfur shows the action of living things on inorganic minerals and sediments, and molecular biomarkers indicate photosynthesis, demonstrating that life on Earth was widespread by this time. On the other hand, the exact sequence of chemical events that led to the first nucleic acids is not known. Several hypotheses about early life have been proposed, most notably the iron-sulfur world theory, metabolism without genetics, and the RNA world hypothesis, RNA life forms. Until the early 19th century, people generally believed in the ongoing spontaneous generation of certain forms of life from non-living matter. This was paired with heterogenesis, beliefs where one form of life derives from a different form, for example bees from flowers. Classical notions of abiogenesis, now more precisely known as spontaneous generation, held that certain complex living organisms are generated by decaying organic substances. According to Aristotle, it was a readily observable truth that aphids arise from the dew which falls on plants, fleas from putrid matter, mice from dirty hay, crocodiles from rotting logs at the bottom of bodies of water, and so on. In the 17th century, such assumptions started to be questioned. For example, in 1646, Sir Thomas Browne published his Pseudodoxia Epidemica, subtitled Enquiries into Very Many Received Tenets, and Commonly Presumed Truths, which was an attack on false beliefs and vulgar errors. His conclusions were not widely accepted. For example, his contemporary, Alexander Ross, wrote, "To question this, that is, spontaneous generation, is to question reason, sense, and experience. If he doubts of this, let him go to Egypt, and there he will find the fields swarming with mice, begot of the mud of Nilus." To the great calamity of the inhabitants in 1665, Robert Hooke published the first drawings of a microorganism. Hooke was followed in 1676 by Anton van Leeuwenhoek, who drew and described microorganisms that are now thought to have been protozoa and bacteria. Many felt the existence of microorganisms was evidence in support of spontaneous generation, since microorganisms seemed too simplistic for sexual reproduction, and asexual reproduction through cell division had not yet been observed. The first solid evidence against spontaneous generation came in 1668 from Francesco Redi, who proved that no maggots appeared in meat when flies were prevented from laying eggs. It was gradually shown that, at least in the case of all the higher and readily visible organisms, the previous sentiment regarding spontaneous generation was false. The alternative seemed to be biogenesis, that every living thing came from a pre-existing living thing, on vivum ex ovo, Latin for every living thing from an egg. In 1768, Lazzaro Spallanzani demonstrated that microbes were present in the air, and could be killed by boiling. In 1861, Louis Pasteur performed a series of experiments which demonstrated that organisms such as bacteria and fungi do not spontaneously appear in sterile nutrient-rich media.